September the 30th. Let's start this week in style, and not with a migraine like me. Grab a coffee, and let's talk about the realistic utopia of a fair society, shall we? After a short recap of all I have already said about Rawls, his original position, and the basic liberties on Saturday in my last post, today we dive into his second overarching principle, equality. First off, let's listen to it once more in Rawls' own words. Social and economic inequalities are to satisfy two conditions. First, they are to be attached to positions and offices open to all under conditions of fair equality of opportunity. And second, they are to be to the greatest benefit of the least advantaged member of society, consistent with the just savings principle. As you can see, Rawls' second overarching principle has two parts. The first part is fair equality of opportunity. Social positions, and this includes not just jobs, but also things like places at universities and schools, but also public offices, just as being a judge or a member of parliament or whatever, should be open to all on the basis of their skills and abilities. But to start with, and continuing throughout life, everyone should have an equal chance to develop their talents. There's no expiration date to that. The second part is the difference principle. Inequalities in society are justified only if they benefit everyone. Specifically, we should organize our economy so as to maximize the life chances of the least advantaged. The two parts cover both bases: the equal access to positions and the justified rewards attached to the positions. They make an end to the idea that equal opportunity means equal outcome. Both approaches are equally important to create a fair society. But before we go any deeper into the discussion of the 2 points, I want to pick up on something I said in my last post on Saturday, that this is exactly the system needed to offset the risk attached to random searches for all parties of the social contract. It goes all back to the philosophy, in philosophy so far totally under-discussed fact that any human self-generates their model of the world, their reality in their mind. So it is not accessible to anyone else, except we are talking about it. Since it's mostly a creative process based on just a few actual sensations, and the result has little to do with the actually existing physical universe, these models are vastly different. Your reality is not my reality. And I mean this not just like we are seeing different colors. They allow the individual to survive, but prevent any planned cooperation, because cooperation requires a common basis from which it is possible to formulate shared goals. And if we all live in different societies, in different realities, we don't have this common basis. Now, humans are made up of material things that came together in the shape of a human in pursuit of two goals. All material things in the universe seek both their lowest energy state and to be in equilibrium with their surroundings. These goals require exploration of and interaction with the surroundings, with the whole of our surroundings, with the whole universe in the end. The greatest payoff when it comes to exploration and subsequent interaction offer random searches. But for the individual, they also harbor the greatest risk, because whilst they will always end with a ton of new information and energy exchange, the new information might not solve the most pressing problems of survival. but the high risk can be offset by cooperation. So when humans cooperate, it's exactly for this reason. That's their motivation. Offset the risk of that random searches harbor, so they can engage in them. And it's necessary to stress this again. The driving force behind this desire are the material things that make up the body. Goes back to physics. Yes, it does. And whose? It's the body's desire that need to be satisfied. How? Since the mind is simply a tool whose job it is to select the best energy to mingle with and ensure that we get in a position to do so, it's not enough that the mind understands that one's work enables another body to explore. Nor is the energy information we seek necessarily something our mind understands. It's every single body that needs to be fed constantly with new energy and information and can't be reduced to solely exploiting existing knowledge, or the body gets sick and the mind rebels. The situation we have today. And that takes us to the two-part overarching principle of equality of Rawls and why it was like a breath of fresh air when I read it. The first part calls for lifelong equal chances to develop one's talents. Education and studying, whether it comes in the shape that enables us to do our own research in scientific fields, or in the shape of learning skills, or getting to know new people and places, or yet another shape. Done for the betterment of oneself, and not to satisfy the needs of any employer, that's exploration. That's exactly what every person who comes to the table to negotiate a common data set that all will use in their individual word generation processes in order to be able to cooperate once out of the resulting social contract, out of the resulting society. It is only fair when it gives this to everyone, because that's the reason the contract exists. In order to offset the risk of random searches by all, the successes must be shared in such a way that everyone can engage in explorations without fear of failing, the results not immediately satisfying the pressing needs of survival. They might pay off, or they will pay off in the future in some way, or if they already pay off in any other way, but not stilling the hunger. Only engaging in these searches results in the end in the conduct of the overly successful ones, because these are random searches and we don't know which of the searches will be successful. Since the highest payoff can happen everywhere, at any time to anyone, the only truly failing explorations are those not conducted at all. The number of those in our society today is uncountable, and that's a loss for all. On the other hand, you need to give incentives so that certain jobs that need to be done are done. You probably need incentives. Maybe or maybe not. Certain things are done just because we want to, and the other things that need to be done in the end. And that balance is handled by the difference principle. In the resulting society, it's not the case that everyone has the same, like communism once did. No, there are differences in wealth. But the differences need to be justified by the payoff they deliver to the group as a whole, not the individual, and in particular the least advantaged of all. Hence, while everyone's wealth grows and not just from a material perspective. This number game, we need to stop it. No one's material wealth can grow into the immeasurable. And the reason is that material wealth, this numbers game, this bottom line, this thinking about a person's life in numbers and equations, is a means to end calculation, is an invention of our mind that has no impact on the body. So the whole project of cooperation has never aimed at that. It has never aimed at multiplying material wealth. Remember, the project is driven by the material things that make up our body. They don't know money. They don't know wealth. They know energies and information. Any thoughts? Tell me. Tell all. Since our models of the world change with every new information we gather, and the models are only accessible to others when we communicate them, we are part of never-ending negotiations that require constant conversation and debate. That's what I try to start here. That's all for today, or for now. I will be back with a TikTok live tonight where I prep our dinner. It will be fish sticks with mashed potatoes and cinnamon carrots. And I will talk while I prep the dinner about fair societies. And if that's not your thing, I'll be back with another post tomorrow. Unless my migraine asks me to hack a toilet bowl and not you. Until then, bye.